Hey guys, Mark from Copy Glass. I'm just going to be doing a quick video for you guys now on the HTC ONE. Now, so you've seen my unboxing review and you've also seen my quick look at the HTC hardshell case. What we're going to be doing now is an actual full review of the device itself. I've been using the device now for about 3 or 4 days and it's really nice. We're going to get into the review now, go over all the features in terms of the hardware design, the software that it is running, and also camera performance, pretty much everything that we can fit in. We're not going to make the video too long, maybe maximum 10 minutes, so let's get into it. Alright, so first thing that we're going to go over then is the design of the actual phone itself. Now this is outright the best looking, best feeling phone out on the market at the moment, even beating out my beloved iPhone 5. Obviously first thing you have is the aluminium, which is basically a seamless piece of aluminium across the back. They're kind of broken up by these white plastic contours here, and obviously then you've got the actual screen on the front, which is a 4.7-inch screen, really nice. Also, it does have the home buttons down the bottom. They're not built into the screen like some other Android devices, and obviously then you've got the speakers, which we'll go into a bit later as well. Now, having a quick tour around the device, obviously on the top of the device there you do have the 3.5mm headphone jack and the sleep wake button, which actually doubles as an IR blaster for compatible TVs. Along the left hand side of the device is completely clear apart from the micro SIM slot. On the bottom of the device there you are then going to find the micro USB cable and also the noise cancelling mic up there. And along the right hand side of the device you're just going to find the volume up and down. It doesn't actually have any labels or anything on it, but obviously when you're holding the device you're kind of going to know which one is which. On the back of the device is where you are going to find that 4-megapixel camera. On the actual box itself, it doesn't actually say it's a 4-megapixel camera. It just mentions obviously that it does have ultra pixels. It's called the HTC Ultra Pixel camera. Obviously really nice camera performance, which we'll get onto a bit later. And also next there the LED flash, and also on the back you're going to find another noise cancelling microphone with the HTC and the Beats Audio brand. Speaking of Beats Audio, on the front of the device is where you are going to find the HTC Boom sound speakers. Now these things sound insane. You got one on the top there and also on the bottom, along with the front facing camera, which is 1.3 megapixels. Now these speakers, obviously it's stereo sound and it sounds insanely good, better than every phone out there at the moment, and even better than the tablets that are out there at the moment, including the iPad, which has been really praised for its speaker sound. Is because they're really on the front of the device here. That's why the sound on the HTC is so good, because it's kind of coming right at you instead of on the back like a lot of phones, on the bottom like a lot of phones as well. So really nice. And then obviously up in the top left you're going to find the usual array of sensors like the ambient light sensor and also an LED notification light as well. So in terms of the actual design of the phone, it is really nice. Like I say, the best phone that I have used at the moment. Obviously the screen itself, we'll just have a quick look at the screen as well. Like I mentioned, it's a 4.7-inch 1080p Full HD screen. It's got a pixel density of 468 ppi, which is insanely good. Not sure if my camera's going to pick up on it or if it will focus on that, but just kind of have a look at some of these icons and things now. Wait till that does focus. There we go. You can see that it is insanely good. There is no kind of pixel, you can't really see the pixels at all, to be perfectly honest. Really nice, including the kind of smaller bits at the top like the battery notification, the time and things. Everything looks insanely good. I cannot fault what they are doing with the screen at the moment. And it does pretty much have the same resolution and, you know, slightly smaller screen though than the Sony Xperia Z, which recently came out. But I'm not sure again if you'll be able to see it on video here, but the viewing angles are a lot better, probably because of my lights and it's going to make it look a lot worse. But the viewing angles are really good as well if you're viewing the phone kind of outdoors and things. The phone itself, the maybe one downside I would have is that it doesn't have amazing brightness. This is the phone on full brightness right now, and again if I just get my iPhone 5 real quick on full brightness as well, you can see obviously there it's kind of out contrasted by the camera, but you can see there that it is a lot brighter. That's maybe the only downside, but then again out in the sun and things you can see the screen a lot better, and really not had any problems with the screen itself. Really impressed with what they're doing here as well. Okay, next thing we're going to go on to now is to have a look at the actual software itself. Now this thing is where again HTC, as well as the build quality, they've really kind of grown up in terms of the software. Obviously it's running the latest Sense, which is Sense 5, and again I can't really fault what they're doing. Obviously it's not maybe as good as stock Android. Obviously a lot of people kind of maybe don't understand why stock Android is so good, but there's just a couple of different things here and there, and just the way the phone works slightly different running Android on the HTC with the Sense interface. Now it's not running the latest version of Android, Android. It's running version 4.1.2 at the moment. It's going to get some updates soon, hopefully to 4.2. No word on when that is actually coming out yet, but hopefully that will come. But in terms of the actual internals of the phone to make the software run as smooth as it does, obviously you're going to find a Qualcomm Snapdragon 600 processor. Obviously it's clocked at 1.7 gigahertz, quad core as well. And obviously inside you're going to find 2 gigabytes of RAM, and it's going to come on either 64 or 32 gigabyte capacity. This is the 32. Obviously keep in mind the capacity when you do buy it, because there is no expandable memory slot, nothing around the side, the back cover doesn't come off, and there's no removable battery basically. But really nice in terms of the software. I'm just going to kind of have a quick flick around now. Runs really smoothly in terms of the actual kind of just going around every day with the phone itself. Obviously you got things like your multitasking, which again, because of the buttons on the HTC phone, not sure if you can see there, you get the HTC logo, which isn't actually a button. You get a back button and then the home button. Now the home button has multiple functions. Obviously you can see there, if you tap it once, it'll get you back to the home screen. If you double tap is when it's going to bring up your multitasking, so you can obviously switch between apps or just flick them away like so. And also if you kind of hold down, it's going to bring up your Google Now services as well. So really nice in terms of the fact that it's very minimalistic with the buttons, but there's a lot of function with each one, so really liking that as well. And also just in general, the software itself seems to run really smoothly. I'm not sure, obviously I haven't had a lot of time with Sense in the past, but to me it seemed a bit laggy and it didn't really run as smoothly as I would like it to. Obviously as it is Android, it's still going to have the usual problems. The Chrome browser is a bit stuttery, kind of scrolling through pages and things, and sometimes it can be a tiny bit slow to open certain apps, but that's more maybe to do with Android than it is to do with the phone itself, because this is a powerhouse of a device. Now, one thing that I want to mention that maybe a lot of people don't mention with reviews and things is the software itself coming with Android in the Play Store. A lot of people are maybe scared to switch from maybe their current phone, their current kind of company, be it Apple with iOS and Windows Phone, etc., to Android because of maybe the Play Store with what it does or doesn't offer. Now, I've been using my Nexus 7 for quite some time, and I'm really happy with the actual app selection itself. I can't really fault what they're doing. Really, there's pretty much every app that you can get on iOS you're going to find here, or at least a version of it that's maybe just the Android version. Yes, iOS does get some apps before Android. Some apps aren't even available on Android. But in terms of the app selection that you do get here, you can't really fault it. There's thousands and thousands of apps that you can choose from. So if you are maybe thinking about switching to Android or a HTC phone like this, for instance, do not worry about the app selection at all, because it is great. I haven't found an app that isn't useful that I wanted to find that haven't been able to. Like I say, it's got everything here that you need basically, so really good there. Obviously, one more thing about the software, the phone, etc. It does come with all the usual antennas and things. Obviously, it's got Bluetooth 4.0 built in, obviously Wi-Fi, GPS, near-field communication or NFC. So all that is built in, really nice as well. Really happy with how that performs. Now what I'm also going to do just real quick, just depending on my internet speed here, I'm just going to really quickly just load up a video on YouTube, just real quick, because of the fact that obviously these speakers that I mentioned earlier are like insane. I can't even kind of begin to tell you how good they are. I just want to see if we can just kind of get an example of a video now. I'll just kind of do one from, for instance, the HTC ONE unboxing that I done the other day, for instance. Just to kind of show you how good these speakers are. I'll turn up to full volume and keep quiet for just a minute. Hopefully the video is going to play and you'll be able to kind of get the full sound. It's going to sound insanely good. So let's just have a quick listen to that now with obviously the intro music that we use here at Copper v Glass. Hey guys, welcome to Copper v Glass. And just take a quick video to you guys now, a bit of an unboxing and a again, not sure how that's going to come across on camera, but it is insanely good. The speakers on this thing are amazing. I think they're pretty much the best, like I say, best phone speakers out there at the moment, so can't really fault that. It is insanely good. Next thing that we're going to go on to is then battery life. Now this is where a lot of other reviewers, and myself included, are kind of a bit not necessarily disappointed, but maybe we expected more. Obviously, because it's a phone from 2013, there's a lot of phones out there now that have insanely good batteries. They can last for a full day, if not longer, and not have really any problems at all. With this one though, I have found that the battery itself Doesn't necessarily last a full day. My girlfriend has been using this phone while she's been at work, so she hasn't been using it kind of all day, only occasionally, and it is on 39% at the moment, and she does have a charger with her. Not sure if she's charged it today or not. But the battery life itself, it does kind of run down pretty quick, doesn't maybe last a full day. When I say a full day, I mean kind of getting up and taking it off the charger around 8 o'clock, putting it back on charge maybe when we go to bed at about half 10, 11 o'clock. It's pretty much at zero at that point, or if not completely dead basically. So the battery itself a little bit disappointing, was really kind of expecting a bit more, but then again it depends on how you use the phone. It does also come with a pretty neat feature, which is a power saver mode. Now we do have that on at the moment, and what it basically does is it turns off certain features when the phone is idle for quite a long time. So if you're not using the phone, if you've got the phone locked and it's in a bag or on a desk and you're not using it, it turns off certain features that maybe drain the battery that you don't need, like GPS location, Wi-Fi, even 3G sometimes as well. So again, that can sometimes, you know, halt on the performance, and then when you turn it on, everything kind of has to load up and things. But the power saver mode, I think, is quite good to have it built in, instead of just like ambient light for the brightness and things. It features a lot more things in there as well. So again, that's really the only downside to the phone really would be the battery. Okay, now one of the last things really that we're going to do now is just have a very quick look at the camera itself. I'm just going to put up some example pictures for you guys now of some things that I've taken the photos of with the camera using obviously this new 4 megapixel sensor that is on the back. Obviously looking at the pictures now, they are really good, but there's quite a lot of artificial noise and things. Not maybe as good as the iPhone 5 pictures that are being produced, but still quite good for what they're calling a 4 megapixel camera. I think the Ultra Pixels do a really great job at capturing the light. Obviously low light situations, if we have a look at this picture now, it's taken in a room with no lights and just some natural light coming through quite a small window. Again, the detail and things is really good there as well. And also taking some pictures now with the front facing camera, which actually has a wide angle lens. So 88% wide angle lens. Really nice, does capture a lot more than maybe a standard front facing camera, but then obviously you do get some kind of fuzziness around the edge where it has maybe had to stretch the picture, but not too bad. And lastly, just kind of doing a very quick example now of the video quality. Like I say, it is complete 1080p video. Again, this looks really nice. The colors and things, the color reproduction is insanely good. Okay, so what are my thoughts on the HTC One? If you are looking for an Android phone right now, and you do want the best hardware that is available at the moment, you want an insanely good screen, really nice ergonomic design, then definitely go for the HTC One. Like I said, the design of the phone, the internals, the speed of the phone, you cannot fault it whatsoever. If you are maybe looking for that pure Android experience, then I'd maybe wait until Google I/O coming up soon to see if they announce a new Nexus phone, which is a high possibility they might do that, if you do want that pure Android experience. Now in terms of the HTC One, if I'm giving it a score out of 10, I'm definitely going to give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. Like I said, the only thing that really lets it down that 0.5% is going to be the battery life. Like I say, keep a charger on you when you do have this phone, because you may find yourself running down to zero a bit more often than you like. So like I say, I am Michael from Copy Glass. This has been my review of the HTC One, so I'll speak to you guys next time.